So this is a Dell Inspiron 530S, and it is pretty old. You can see the white plastic is starting to yellow. Looks like it has a dual-core Pentium. We have Windows Vista Basic, and it has silver with white metal. As you can see, it's very dusty, quite dirty, so it needs a little clean. Got a lot of dust up here too, so we'll clean that up in a little bit, and white on the other side. And it looks like it is both can be put vertically or horizontally. So I have plugged in a monitor, keyboard, and mouse over here, and we're gonna go ahead and boot it for the first time and see if it actually works. All right, we have our little Dell monitor here, and I put this on its side so we can actually turn it on here. And you'll have to excuse my mess. I usually have a messy desk here, but we're gonna go and press the power button. Okay, that's a good sign. All right, we got Dell on the screen. Dell on a Dell. So we'll see if it actually boots. I know it's gonna be dirty on the inside. I know for a fact it will be. So as you can see, we got a couple USBs, a microphone, speaker port on the front, and blue. Not sure if it has a CD drive, I'm assuming it does. There we go, we got a disk drive right there. It looks like it is booting into Windows Vista, so I have no idea if my friend's stuff is on here, so if it is, I will have to turn it off and, you know, not show you that, but let's see if it even boots in the first place. I don't have internet or anything hooked up to this, just keyboard, mouse, all that stuff, so there we go. All right, so it looks like they do have their stuff on here, so I may have to make a little guest account, but wow, it is still running Windows Vista Basic. So I actually completely guessed on the password and got in here. Obviously, they probably have some personal items on here I will not show, but you can see we have this really old Xfinity TV logo. So let's go ahead and look at the specs of this real quick and see what it actually has. All right, so as you can see here, Windows Vista Home Basic Service Pack 2. It is rocking an Intel Pentium dual core E2200 with 2 gigs of RAM, and it's 32-bit. Now this does have a recovery partition, so I'm gonna try and access this. It says on the Dell site that you can access it by hitting F8 when the computer restarts, and then going to repair your computer and going further in like that. So I'm gonna see if I can actually access that recovery partition, because it'd be kind of cool to see how this would have been out of the box. All right, so it said to press F8 upon boot, so we're at the F8 screen, the advanced boot option, so it says repair your computer, so we'll hit that. It says to press enter, choose your language, log in as administrator or any user that has admin rights, click on the Dell Factory Image Restore, usually the last item in the list. Below, this is called Dell Backup and Recovery Manager, as the computer model does not use the Dell DataSafe local backup software. When the Dell Backup and Recovery Manager screen appears, click next. Click on yes, reformat hard drive and restore factory system software. And then click next. And once it's done, you'll be able to restart your computer. All right, so here we are at the system recovery options. So as you can see, it gives us a language option of only one, just English, and the United States as our keyboard layout. If we click on next, all right, it's gonna give us an option to choose a, I guess an account. So I'm gonna choose this one, and then we'll go ahead and type the password in. Okay, and here we are. So as you can see, we have the option to do a startup repair, system restore, Windows Complete PC Restore, Windows Memory Diagnostic Tool, Command Prompt, and Dell Factory Image Restore. So that's the one we're gonna do. All right, so let's go ahead and click on Dell Factory Image Restore. All right, welcome to Dell Factory Image Restore. This utility will restore your system software to the state it was when it left the factory. In order to return the system to factory state, all personal files will be overwritten. Click next to continue. Confirm data deletion. This utility will reformat your operating system hard drive partition prior to restoring the factory image. This means data on the partition will be deleted and cannot be recovered. To confirm this action, please check the box below and then hit the next button. So it asks you to check the box and then hit next. So you're not gonna mess this up. So click next, performing factory image restore. This utility is now reformatting your hard drive and restoring the factory image. This process may take over 5 minutes to complete. So We're gonna let it do its thing, and I'll come back when it's ready. Surprisingly, not that long later, it actually is done. So it says factory image successfully restored. Your operating system and factory installed applications have now been restored to the state they were when they left the factory. You'll need to reinstall any applications that you have added since you received the system. Press the finish button to reboot the system. Let's go ahead and reboot it now. All right, so it comes back to the same menu. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so hopefully we're rebooting. And I have no idea if that BIOS is probably way out of date. I still can't believe my friend actually used this until 2015. I'm just impressed. All right, we got our Vista loading screen. And we should come up to a setup screen, possibly. All right, so here we are at the main screen. So now it's giving us the option of the country or region, time and currency, and keyboard layout. Does say Dell, copyright 2006, Microsoft Corporation. Let's go ahead and click next. All right, so we have our license terms. So it is Windows Vista Home Basics Service Pack 1. I accept. Let's look at our EULA and all that stuff. We have our Windows license and then our Dell license to use the computer. Click next. All right, now we're given the option to create an account. So I have a couple things here. So we have our flower. We have a little robot, a goldfish, bamboo, little puppy, cat, chessboard, chess pieces. So we'll just do the cat. And then we're gonna put, we'll just put user. Since, I don't know if I can do this or not. This is type of password recommended. You don't have to, hopefully. All right, and then we have a couple backgrounds. So we're gonna just let the name be that. So we have Windows background. So we have this one. We have this one. We have this one. We also have Dell backgrounds. So Inspiron. Fancy, but we'll go with the stock Windows Vista background. Click next here. All right, so we'll just we'll do that later since we don't have internet on this yet. It's asking what day it is. It actually still remembers the time, which is impressive. We're actually in Eastern time zone though, so I need to find that. Where is our Eastern time at? There it is. Eastern time right there. That might be a hair. Yeah, there's a little hair on my screen. All right, thank you. Start. All right, so we'll give that a minute to load, and then hopefully we'll be at our desktop. We can see what came with this computer back in 2006 or 7. All right, so we're at the screen. It's basically, I guess, installing stuff. So please wait while Windows checks your computer's performance. Oh, okay, maybe it's booting. You can hear the fan going a little crazy here. All right, we're at the welcome screen, preparing your desktop. So if I remember correctly, back in the day, you would have the Windows install, but it would install the applications after it did Windows. So you had no choice of whether to install the bloatware that they came with, and it would just install it for you, and you would just have to go back and install it later. You couldn't do it like you can now, where if like you buy a Windows 10 PC or laptop, you can go back and wipe it with the stock version of Windows 10 and still have the license and everything on there just fine, without having to worry about all the extra crap that these manufacturers include. But this one, you didn't have that choice. You had to kind of just deal with what they gave you. Yeah, I'm putting this thing through its paces. You can see it's working hard. It's working hard over here. All right, so this is how it would look out of the box once you get it installed. So I thought maybe that was just an aftermarket thing they included, but that's actually something that it came with. So on this little top bar, you can see it's a persistent bar. Persistent bar has email and chat, internet, photos, music, videos, games, office, security, help and support, recycle bin, best of web and internet. And then the first thing that pops up is our getting started guide, which offers the, it says to connect to using an existing network or ISP. Click this option to connect to an existing ISP. We don't have anything right now, but we'll go ahead and do that later. Let's see, can we just click next? Without doing that, yeah. We have McAfee Security Center, a trial subscription is installed on your computer. Protect your system now, click here. Don't care about that. Your computer comes with Google Gadget software that helps you view news, photos, and more. You can also customize your desktop with interactive Google Gadgets that are organized in a sidebar on the right side of your screen, shown here. Gadgets are many applications with a variety of possible uses. They can be calculators, games, sticky notes, and more. Dell provides comprehensive product support tools to help you get the most out of your new computer. So you have Dell Support Center and Dell Data Safe Online. Microsoft Windows Vista can help you transfer music, photos, email, and settings from your previous computer. There are several ways to transfer your data depending on capabilities of your old computer. This may be a time-consuming process and depending on the method of transfer, so you can click Transfer Data below. So you get a couple options of how to get your stuff on there, and you can see we have our little Google gadgets here. Nothing is connected right now, but here is our start menu. We'll see what's included here. Looks like we already have some junk in there. Play games. We do have PowerPoint Viewer 2007. We have, Dell. We got Dell Dock, so that must be what it's called. We've got Software and Utilities, Dell Data Safe, Dell Support Center, Extras and Upgrades, so anytime upgrade for Windows. We've got Google Desktop, Games, bunch of games, Maintenance, McAfee, Microsoft Works, which I guess is included, Roxio Creator DE, and we have Wild Tangent Games, so a bunch of stuff in here. All right, I've now connected this to the internet, as you can see by our little globe there. I have my cord going to my little Google Wi-Fi over here, and we're already getting an error when I try to look at Windows updates, so. All right, so in this clip, I'm just showing that I'm downloading Windows Vista Service Pack 2 as a standalone package. However, the reason for that being because Windows Update wasn't working. I didn't realize that Windows Update does not work anymore for Windows XP and Windows Vista, so I found that out later, and that's why I ended up just doing the standalone package. You can download most of the updates that were available for Windows Vista from the download catalog that they have on there, but all I did was just the update for Windows Vista Service Pack 2. Still worked fine, but obviously Windows Vista is way end of life, so no point really doing much more than this. All right, so now that we've gotten this all restored, we'll go ahead and actually clean it. So as you can see, it's pretty dirty. I'm gonna have to actually blow it out as well, but let's go ahead and wipe it down and see if we can get it looking a little bit better than it does right now. So we clean the outside, now we're gonna clean the inside. So as you can see, quite a lot of dust. If I just lift this little thing here, you can see the power supply is full of dust, the fan's full of dust, and this thing is making me sneeze like crazy. Even the side panel has dust. So let's try and dust it off real quick. All right, so I know there's not a lot of light out here, but I do have a leaf blower, and we're just gonna blow it out like this. So let's see how bad it is. All right, so a little light dusting actually helped a little bit. So you can see it kind of got a little bit of dust out of here. The power supply looks a lot better than it did. And this fan looks okay, but as you can see, we've got a lot of dust just caked in the heatsink. So I feel like I'm gonna need to remove it and probably replace the thermal paste on the processor as well. And maybe that'll help it run a little cooler. But other than that, it is a lot cleaner. Here's the result after removing the fan from the heatsink. There's a little carpet there. Whoa. All right, here's our old thermal paste. It's actually still pretty decently spread out on there. So let's go ahead and remove it. So here's our heatsink. It is all cleaned up. Cleaned the thermal paste off the bottom of this one. And then as you can see, we cleaned off the thermal paste on there. And there is our processor, as you can see, Intel Pentium Dual Core 2005 E2200. So let's go ahead and put it back together. Got our fan screwed back on, and we got some new thermal paste. Let's go ahead and put our fan back on. All right, and our fan is back on there, and as you can see, it is perfectly nice and clean for the most part. Obviously, I missed a little bit of it, but it's gonna run a lot cooler, and we have some new thermal paste on there. So this whole thing is nice and clean and ready to go. All right, now to test our newly cleaned and refreshed Dell Inspiron. Let's see if it turns on and actually works. That's good news. All right, it looks like we are good to go. So hopefully it improved, you know, cooling and all that stuff on here. But we're still running Windows Vista and we still can't do a lot on it, unfortunately. So, but we're at our desktop, so that's good news. Well, one great thing is if you have XP or Vista or even 7 and you have an older computer, you can still use one of these Linux distributions like Zorin OS, and I made a video on this previously where I showed it running on a 15-year-old computer. Now, of course, this is running in live mode, so, but this is a 15-year-old computer, and it is actually running pretty well. So let me just show you Firefox running on here. It'll actually play YouTube videos and everything. It runs pretty well, and this is just off a flash drive, so if it was installed to the hard drive directly, I guarantee it would run even better. So if we just want to go to, yeah, it was a Spider-Man video I tested, so we'll just go back to that video. And albeit it is slow, it still will play. So you can still use one of these older PCs and give it some more life. So say we want to watch this old clip. We can even put it into full screen here. And of course, we're going to watch an ad before we watch anything, but Yeah, look at these ads. Gotta love it. Anyway, but you can see closed captioning, everything is working just fine. We can scroll down, look at the comments and everything. And again, it's slow because it's not actually loading from the hard drive, it's loading from a flash drive, but as you can see, it still works pretty well. So if you don't want to use XP or Vista, you can install a Linux distribution like this and get some life out of an older computer. So try it. And there we have it. So this has been a restoration video on this Dell Inspiron 530S. So while yes, it is quite old, it's nice and cleaned up, has some fresh thermal paste, clean fans, and a fresh copy of Windows Vista on it. And of course it can run Zorin OS or any other 32-bit version of Linux distributions. Might run a little bit better, and can still work on modern websites. So hopefully whoever this goes to can still use this for some basic tasks, but I'm glad to see that it cleaned up really well and still works just fine. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video on this computer. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.